At first glance, this board looks just like any other skateboard, but in the next few minutes, I'll try and show you why this board really does ride like a snowboard, despite not needing any snow whatsoever. They've actually been around for quite a long time, and they differ to standard skateboards through these two spinning center wheels at the bottom of the deck. When riding on them, this gives the same frictionless effect of a snowboard, and because they're closer to the ground than the edge wheels, you get the same heel and toe side edge that you'd find on a snowboard. This was my first day snowboarding after I learnt to use them, but this was last year, and since then, in order to learn tricks for this coming season, I've been trying to learn them on the Freeboard first. We learnt a backside 360 with a sailfish board grab, a steezy counter-rotated backside 180, and in the last couple of weeks I've been working on some more. My main strategy has been to try and take videos of snowboarders on Instagram and try and copy their tricks with the Freeboard. To start off with, the easiest was a trick that I'd never seen before called Asashi 180, which looks like a frontside 180 where the tail of the board stays fairly close to the ground and drags along with the heel side edge. And although this trick does look very simple, the difficulty lies in the fact that there's not that much distance between drifting on your heel side edge and catching your toe side edge. If you use the Freeboard 5 or 5X, there's a good chance that you won't have this problem to the same extent because the boards have more rocker, which is just the distance between the edge wheels and the ground. It's a really good trick to learn, especially if you're a beginner, and I think with some more practice, you could definitely lift the nose up higher and only drag the tail / heel side with a very light pressure. And since it's a 180, you can link together the 180 from switch to regular with the 180 from regular to switch, so you can kind of practice both versions at the same time. Next up was a video that I saw from the Butter Dojo, and this was for a charged 540. You lock your toe side in order to open up the upper half of your body, which you then use to drive a fast spin. Of course, the difficulty here is to avoid catching the edge and also seamlessly link these spins together, and something that I found helped a lot is to torsionally twist the board and try to engage the toe side more with your back foot than the front foot. I'm currently using a Freeboard G3, tend to be the cheapest Freeboards out there if you're open to buying second hand. And having practiced the charge spin with this board, which again doesn't have much rocker, I am becoming more and more excited to try all of this stuff on a Freeboard 5 once Freeboard send us one. I have a feeling that the increased rocker on this board would not only make it easier to actually land this trick, but also easier to hold a cooler stance while doing it, allowing your stance to be far more casual looking, relying far more on the center wheels and not on either edge. What I think is the best part about both of these tricks is that you don't need a mini ramp or anything to do them. You can literally mix them in with all kinds of other downhill tricks, and so you don't need to be at a skate park and you can use them on the Freeboard events. They're also the exact kind of tricks that you can use while doing downhill freestyle rather than just picking up higher and higher speeds. Of course, I wouldn't expect that these tricks will be identical on the snowboard because the boards are very different, but it is incredible that you can even start to practice them without any snow in basically any country you like. When trying snowboarding for the first time last year, there were a few tricks which I'd learnt on the Freeboard before going on the trip, and there was only one of these which didn't translate so well from Freeboard to snowboard, and that was riding in switch. And just to be clear, at the time I wasn't that good at riding switch on a Freeboard, but I had hoped that I'd be able to drop a red run in switch during the first 4 days of learning to snowboard. I wasn't able to do this in the end, and I guess all that means is that the Freeboard and snowboard aren't exactly equivalent. But that said, it is incredible just how transferable these two sports are. If you know of any cool downhill snowboarding tricks and you'd like to know whether they're possible on a Freeboard, then let me know and I'll try to learn them. Otherwise, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a good one.